Today we're just going to talk about the topic of abortion. So I'm sure you guys have all heard about how that law got turned over and how it's now going to be up to the states. And it could be depending on whether it becomes a lot more restrictive or unrestrictive, depending on like the states and their morals. And for me, I just think my opinions on that come from the fact that I think the woman should always have the choice and they should always be the ones to decide if they're the ones going to be getting divorced or not, if it's up to them, whether they believe that they're killing a baby or not. So this trauma comes from the fact that the woman constantly has to be told what to do with her body and how she's responsible to everyone else but her own self, and how the womanhood should be defined by the woman and how her choices make up her womanhood, not what people think that, oh, if you have this child, it might turn into this great superhero, or if you have this child even though you don't want it, it might turn out to be this great person that might lead the future. And to me, it's just not constantly taking into account what the woman should be thinking and how the woman should be feeling, or if the woman is like connecting to that child, because that can bring in a lot of trauma when a woman has a child that they do not want, because a child can always tell. They can always feel when they're not wanted in a place and when they feel like they're not bonded with their parents. And women shouldn't have to be responsible for that.
Hey kings and queens, please like, subscribe, and don't forget to press the bell so that you don't miss out on content like this, because it really does help me continue creating more content and spreading this message to help people understand how trauma is affecting them, which in turn changes the world one person at a time. Please and thank you. The people that are pushing the narrative of abortions aren't right for X reason. I truly don't feel that majority of those people have even seen what it's like to live in a really poor household, getting treated like shit by both parents because neither one of them wanted you. A law that should be passed, I feel like if you have a kid, you should be mandatory required to go to attachment therapy courses. They give you resources for child therapy. They give you resources for mental health and therapists online or in your area. That should be required. That I do believe. If we're looking for a goddamn requirement for having babies, put that shit on the parents that actually wanted to have them. I'm a firm believer of don't put people through a hell you yourself would not fucking tolerate for any length of time. And the truth to the matter is, most people don't make it out of situations like that. Suicide rate in situations like that are actually really high. Not just that, but drug addiction rate, suicide, drug addiction rate, prison time. Like, people react to trauma in different ways. Sometimes it's just continued generational abuse. Sometimes you sit there and you go to, like, the child grows up in a really shitty household. Now they're dating shitty fucking people. Now they're getting abused and they kill themselves from the abuse from the shitty relationship. And it's like nobody's accounting for these different scenarios. It's just like, it's just like life deserves to live. It's not even a person yet. You know what I mean? Like, why would you grow that, bring that into the world just to
Just for a moral code. Just so that
yeah.
way you could be like, oh, you didn't kill it. I'm like, you're always making a choice. Yeah, you're killing a type of form of life, but at the end of the day, what you're killing is a messed up moral code saying that my body doesn't belong to me because I'm a woman. My body belongs to somebody else. Or my body has to be shared by somebody else. Or because I'm a woman, I have to have this child. Or because I'm a woman and because I had sex and I got pregnant, now I have to take responsibility. And to me, that's not very fair. And that's just upholding very prehistoric values that the woman should always be this virgin until she's married, and they shouldn't be explorative with their sexuality, and their sexuality belongs to their partner.
Yeah, and you're right that they do a lot of that because it ties like straight into religion. They say a lot of people take this narrative of throw the Bible at it and it fixes everything. The truth is the Bible doesn't fix anything. If you actually go through and you look at the Bible itself, they've rewritten that thing so many times. They've taken out things that like the real version of the Bible actually tells you that you yourself have divinity, the unedited versions of it. Basically, what's happening is, Malik, you're right. People are just throwing a book at it saying the Bible will fix it. And the truth is, In situations like that, the Bible isn't fixing anything. God is not magically teleporting down, like keeping people off of drugs and keeping crime from happening. In reality, as far as bringing good to this world and bringing heaven to earth, you owning your ability to do something good in this world, not just leaving it up to, the magical sky wizard. I feel like people use the Bible as an excuse to sit there and not do their part in making this place that we live in right now heavenly. Instead, a lot of people go to church just for the look. They go to church just for the reputation it gives them. They go to church and they're really just covert narcissists, only really doing self-serving things to look good when it's good for them. Okay, right now we're talking about a whole nother life being born by people that don't want the kid. You gotta realize, for you to even want an abortion, it's not coming from a place of love. You're not gonna want that kid at all. For you to even be considering this, you know that they're not ready for it. And when they have this, it's going to burden their lives a significant degree. And some people want to say, well, they just shouldn't have had sex. And it's like, look, if we're going to sit here and talk about, abortion, then why are dudes out here jacking off and putting their semen into the fucking toilet? Like
Exactly.
that should also be illegal. That too is life, right? If that shit counts as life, shouldn't be able to jack off into a fucking napkin. All that shit should just go. It doesn't make sense. At that point, we're sitting here pushing a narrative that is saying, well, there's just one way to live life. In reality, that's not true. There's a lot of different ways to live life. Don't get me wrong, to live a high vibing life, it does limit you some,
Yes.
but this is not one of those. This is one of those, you're making a responsible decision for the future. If you don't want a kid, if your spouse don't want the kid, if you can't raise that kid in a good home, don't sit there and just leave it up to some magical sky wizard to fucking make it happen. Like seriously. And not just that, but to the people that sit here hating on this video, it's like, I really want to ask you a question. Leave down in the comments, when's the last time you donated to a single mother? Leave down in the comments, when's the last time you dropped off a turkey or toys for those fucking holidays where they don't get any presents. Leave down in the fucking comments the last time you've done shit, actually. Like one fucking thing. Like literally.
These are the same people that also want to spout rhetoric that the government doesn't help me out, the government's out to get me and my money. But yet you have these poor people, these single mothers, these fathers that don't want these children out here, but yet they still want them to have children simply because they have to own up to their responsibility of having sex one time. That's ridiculous. But someone should make a choice to want to bring a child into this world. And that choice should also be backed up by the fact that they can provide a healthy, nice home life that's stable for the child and can be provided tons of empathy. You shouldn't be raising broken people and putting them inside of a broken society. That's how you get an endless society of just broken adults that continues the cycle of abuse.
If you like the way I teach about mental health content, like, subscribe, and don't forget to press the bell so that you don't miss out on more content like this. And remember, if you ever find yourself in chaos, it's in that chaos that you'll find yourself, and that no candle loses its flame from lighting another. Peace, family.